Okay, so here we are in ATCpro, running east flow. I'm working both south approach sectors and the south final, giving vectors to the ILS today, runway 28. I've configured the weather so the aircraft can't see the runway, so the AI controllers are vectoring for ILS approaches, which makes staggering the aircraft on final a lot easier when you can predict exactly where the other airplanes are going to be and at what altitudes. So it makes it a lot easier to keep 1,000-foot separation when all the airplanes are descending on the glide slope. I've also edited the stars as shown in my previous video, so I'm using the Onion 1 arrival from the Canuck arrival gate on the southeast, but from the southwest I've edited the star quite a bit. Normally it's the Wars 1, but I've edited it to follow the path of this here, the Legrand 4 arrival, but I've changed its name. I've changed it to the Honey arrival because I start at the Honey waypoint, so that makes things a little easier, I find. I wanted them to follow that arrival instead of the old Wars 1, which kind of had a weird turn in it that the airplanes didn't fly very well, so I find this is easier. They're just on a straight line towards Atlanta, descending to 8,000, and then I can eventually turn them base as you get closer in to coordinate with other traffic.
Atlanta approach, good morning, Delta 2105 at 14,000, we warm up.
Delta 2105, Atlanta approach, roger, expect runway 10, descend via the Onion 1 arrival, runway 10 transition.
Expect 10, descend via Onion 1, Delta 2105.
Delta 1508, turn left heading 360, descend 5,000.
Left to 360, down to 5,000, Delta 1508.
So when running the south approach, and with all the other airplanes on ILSs, if I vector my airplanes to a point that is 2 miles prior to the 10-mile fix, and what is that called here? So CTs, if I vector my airplanes to a point that is 2 or 3 miles before CTs, they will have 1,000-foot separation with the other airplanes, or at least the airplanes on the center approach. I pretend that the north approach is independent of the south, so completely. So the airplanes will cross the 10-mile fix on the center approach at 4,000 feet. So if I vector my aircraft a few miles prior to that at 3,000 feet, there will be 1,000 feet and a couple miles separation always when I join the aircraft to final, assuming the planes on the center approach. Assuming the planes on the center approach are descending on the glide slope, which they are, if they're on an ILS approach. Delta 1508, descend 4,000.
Descending to 4,000, Delta 1508.
This session here, it's Monday 8:30 in the simulator, and it's one of the more challenging ones I find when you're trying to work the whole south side. Lots of aircraft coming in. Delta 1508, descend 3,000.
Descend and maintain 3,000, Delta 1508.
Atlanta approach, good morning, Delta 1836 is with you at 14,000 with information Lima assigned 270 knots.
Delta 1836, Atlanta approach, roger, descend via the Onion 1 arrival, runway 10 transition. And that's going to mess him up there because I stuttered. started saying 28. Delta 1836, descend via the Onion 1 arrival, runway 10 transition.
Say again for Delta 1836. Descend by Onion 1 Delta 1836.
There, I think you got it. Delta 1508, turn right heading 070, cleared ILS approach runway 10, maintain 3000.
070, cleared for ILS for runway 10, descending to 3000, Delta 1508.
Delta 1508, roger, speed your discretion.
Normal speed, Delta 1508.
And I think Delta 1836 is not going to do what I want him to do down here. Delta 1836, clear direct to Onion, maintain 1000.
Direct Onion descending to 1000 Delta 1836.
See if that gets him back on course. That's my fault 'cause I stuttered. I wanted to say 28 when I should have started and just said 10 for the runway.
Atlanta approach, good morning, Delta 792 level at 14,000, last sky gave us 270.
Delta 792 Atlanta approach, descend via the Onion 1 arrival, runway 10 transition.
Descend by Onion 1 Delta 792.
Delta 792, roger, resume normal speed as published.
Speed is published, Delta 792.
And there's a custom readback that I have added, the speed as published. So you can see Delta 1508, he's joining final. He's not quite at 3000, but we still have more than 1000 feet separation with Delta 2846 on the center approach, so it's working just fine. Delta 827, fly present heading, descend 3000.
275 on heading, descending to 3000, Delta 827. Atlanta approach, good morning, Delta 1914 is at 2000, descend 250 knots, Lima.
Delta 1914 Atlanta approach, roger, descend via the Honey 1 arrival, runway 10 transition.
Descend by Honey 1 Delta 1914.
So I've edited, basically what I did is I just changed the Wars 1 arrival, I changed the routing for the runway 10 transition, and then after I changed the routing I changed the pronunciation in both the pronunciation file and the dynamic route file as well. So I can say Honey 1, which is this made up arrival, and they'll read back Honey 1. Delta 827 turn right, heading 280.
Heading 280, Delta 827.
I'll give him a partial base turn there. Delta 1508, traffic, 10 o'clock, 1 mile, eastbound at 4000.
Unable, Beer IMC Delta 1508.
Roger there, no factor. Delta 827, turn right heading 350.
Turn right heading 350, Delta 827.
Delta 1508, contact Atlanta Tower 119.5.
119.5, good day, Delta 1508.
And so the way I play it is, yeah, north and south approaches are independent, but the center approach is dependent with both north and south approaches. And break the real world rules a little bit, because after I give the approach clearance I consider the required separation for this runway, the south runway, and the center runway I consider it just 1.5 or 1,000 feet. Because otherwise it's quite tough here to actually keep 3 miles at 1,000 feet. Although I guess it's possible. Delta 827, turn right heading 070, cleared ILS approach, runway 10, maintain 3000.
Some moderate turbulence here, Delta 90 ILS for 10, 3000, Delta 827.
And I was a little bit late on that turn. I think it'll work. I don't think he'll blow through, but he won't have much of a straight flight portion before turning to intercept the loc. Actually, not too bad. Delta 1914, turn left heading 360, descend 5000.
360, 1860 down to 5000 Delta 1914.
These two aircraft here, Delta 1836 and 792, are about 4 miles in trail, so as Delta 1836 slows on the star, they're going to compress. So I'm going to start Delta 792, I'm going to start him slowing down here a little bit early. Delta 792, reduce speed to 210. And maybe he didn't hear me. Delta 792, reduce speed to 210 knots.
Slowing to 210 Delta 792.
And I'll put a Delta symbol in his data block as a reminder that I've given him a speed assignment. Because Delta 1836 on the Onion 1 arrival, which it looks like he's following it now, and he is slowing down, so I think he's working. He'll slow down to 230 knots around Fries, and then 210 around Shirt, and hold 210, so don't want them to compress too much. Delta 1914, descend 4000.
Descend and maintain 4000 Delta 1914.
Land to approach. Good morning, Delta 2507 at 14,000 miles. Sky gave us 270. We have Lima.
Delta 2507 Atlanta approach, roger. Descend via the Onion 1 arrival, runway 10 transition.
Descend via Onion 1 Delta 2507.
And something weird is when the aircraft are assigned a speed of 270 from center, they let you know. They don't slow down properly on the star. They just slow down to 250, it seems. They don't actually slow down to the 230 and then the 210, so I have to give them an instruction to resume normal speed. Delta 2507, resume speed as published. Delta 257, resume normal speed as published. And that's the call.
Speed is published, Delta 2507.
Delta 1914, turn 10 degrees right, descend 3000.
10 right, descending to 3000 Delta 1914.
Roger. Delta 827, contact Atlanta Tower, 119.5.
Atlanta Tower on 119.5 Delta 827.
And so because I've got nobody on the center approach right here, I can vector him pretty close in. So I'm actually going to give him the approach clearance now. Save time. Delta 1914, turn right heading 080, cleared ILS approach, runway 10, maintain 3000.
080 LS for runway 10, descending to 3000 Delta 1914.
Delta 1914, roger, maintain 200 knots.
Slowing to 200 Delta 1914.
Delta 2105, fly present heading, descend 3000.
275 on heading down to 3000 Delta 2105.
Delta 1836, descend 7000.
Descend and maintain 7,000 Delta 1836.
Atlanta approach, good morning, Delta 849er at 12000 at 250.
Delta 849er, Atlanta approach, roger, descend via the Honey 1 arrival, runway 10 transition.
Descend by Honey 1 Delta 849er.
And so we can see as Delta 1836 is on the downwind, Delta 792 is rounding the corner. They've now got 6 miles of spacing, which is enough to be comfortable. Delta 2105, turn right heading 290.
Turn right heading 290 Delta 2105.
So now is where the fun begins. Where am I going to fit Delta 849 into this flow here? A couple airplanes on the downwind. So it looks like it'll work here. If I slow him down just a bit, he'll be able to fit in nicely behind Delta 792, just using the minimum separation tool here. So I have two options. I could keep Delta 792, I could increase his speed to 250, but I can't do that because there's someone in front. So I'm going to slow down Delta 849 a little early here and build in some separation. We may have to then slow down Delta 2507, because he may be a conflict then, but that's a little too far ahead to start.
Delta 792.
Delta 2105, turn right heading 360.
Turn right heading 360, Delta 2105.
Delta 849er, reduce speed to 210 knots.
210, Delta 849er.
So there I'm slowing him down. Delta 1836, descend 5,000.
Down to 5,000, Delta 1836.
Delta 2105, turn right heading 070, cleared ILS approach, runway 10, maintain 3,000.
Heading 070, LS for runway 10, descend and maintain 3000, Delta 2105.
And here the AI controller, for some reason, is trying to give me this airplane here. This is not normally what happens, so I'm probably just going to delete him off my scope. I don't want to deal with that. He should be going to the center runway. Done. Delta 1914, contact Atlanta Tower, 119.5.
Atlanta Tower on 119.5, Delta 1914.
Delta 2105, maintain 200 knots.
200, Delta 2105.
Looks like he'd slowed down quite a bit. Because once an approach clearance is issued, I think that cancels all speed restrictions. At least that seems to be the way it is in the sim. Unless I've got a wicked headwind right now. Oh yeah, he's increasing. Yeah. So you have to restate the speed. Delta 1836, fly present heading, descend 3,000.
Continuing on 275, 3000, Delta 1836.
And now, as Delta 2507 is rounding the corner onto the downwind, we can see he is probably going to be a conflict. Yep, with 849ers. So this is where it gets fun. Let's both slow down Delta 2507 and keep him high. Let's resolve it that way. Delta 2507, reduce speed to 180 knots.
180, Delta 2507.
And then once he crosses the vectoring line, I'm going to bring him down to, or going to stop his descent at 7,000. Delta 1836, turn right heading 360.
Turn right heading 360, Delta 1836.
Delta 1836, roger, maintain 210 knots.
210, Delta 1836.
Delta 849er, descend 5,000.
Descending 5,000, Delta 849er.
And you can see I gave him the descent just a hair too early, and there's the instructor trying to squawk at me, but I didn't hear him because I've disabled that. And I gave Delta 1836 the turn onto base a little bit later than I needed to, so I'll give him an early turn onto the intercept heading. Delta 1836, turn right heading 080, cleared ILS approach, runway 10, maintain 3,000.
Turn right heading 080, ILS for 10 down to 3000, Delta 1836.
Delta 1836, roger, maintain 210 knots.
210, Delta 1836.
I think that'll work if I keep him at 210 knots. I should close his spacing with Delta 2105 to keep it optimal. Delta 792, fly present heading, descend 3,000.
Continuing on 275 down to 3000, Delta 792.
Delta 849er, turn left heading 360.
Heading 360, Delta 849er.
Delta 2507, maintain 7,000.
Down to 7000, Delta 2507.
So there we go. Now I've stopped Delta 2507 to keep both, hopefully now it'll be lateral and vertical separation. Looks good. Delta 792, turn right heading 360, maintain 210 knots.
Turn right heading 360, maintain 210, Delta 792.
Delta 2105, contact Atlanta Tower, 119.5.
Atlanta Tower on 119.5, Delta 2105.
Delta 849er, descend 4,000.
Down to 4,000, Delta 849er.
Let's accept some of these guys into my airspace.
Atlanta approach, good morning, Delta 1215 with you, level at 4000, assigned 270 knots.
Delta 792, turn right heading 070, cleared ILS approach runway 10, maintain 3000.
Turn right heading 070, clear for the ILS for runway 10, descending to 3000, Delta 792.
Delta 792, roger, maintain 200 knots.
200, Delta 792.
Delta 1215, Atlanta approach, descend via the Onion 1 arrival, runway 10, transition.
Descend via Onion 1, Delta 1215.
So this flow seems to be working well. It can still go to crap pretty quickly here. Got decent spacing there. Quickly give these guys a descend via.
Atlanta approach, good morning, Delta 2430 with you, level at 120,250 knots assigned.
Delta 2430 Atlanta approach, roger. Descend via the Honey 1 arrival, runway 10 transition.
Descend via Honey 1, Delta 2430.
Delta 849er, descend 3000.
3000, Delta 849er.
And Delta 849er is already
Moderate
at
turbulence here, Delta
45.
2507.
Delta 2507, descend 5000.
5000, Delta 2507.
Delta 1836, contact Atlanta Tower 119.5.
Atlanta Tower on 19.5 CR, Delta 1836.
Delta 849er, reduce speed to 190 knots.
Atlanta approach, good morning, AC 5286 at 12000. 190, Delta 849er.
AC 5286 Atlanta approach, roger. Descend via the Honey 1 arrival, runway 10 transition.
Descend by Honey 1, AC 5286.
Delta 849er, turn right heading 070, cleared ILS approach, runway 10, maintain 3000.
070, cleared for the ILS for 10, descend and maintain 3000, Delta 849er.
Delta 849er, roger, maintain 190 knots.
190, Delta 849er.
I find the timing for the approach turn works pretty well if you have finished issuing the clearance and release the button, the push to talk, with about 30 seconds of straight flight time before the aircraft joins the loc. So basically one tail length when he's facing the localizer, like on a straight 90-degree base leg. About 30 seconds prior to him hitting the localizer, if you give him the turn, that'll give him a mile or two of straight flight before joining the loc. Seems to work out fairly well. Delta 2507, fly present heading, descend 3000.
275 on the heading, descend and maintain 3000, Delta 2507.
Delta 792, contact Atlanta Tower 119.5.
119.5, good day, Delta 792.
And now I can start thinking ahead about Delta 1215 and my guys coming in on the Honey arrival. Might want to slow Delta 1215 down a bit. I'll take a look when he turns downwind. Delta 2507, turn right heading 350. Delta 2507, turn right heading 360.
Heading 360, Delta 2507.
So many planes.
Atlanta approach, good morning, AC 5129er is with you at 12000, with information Lima.
AC 5129er, Atlanta approach, roger. Descend via the Honey 1 arrival, runway 10, transition.
Descend by Honey 1, AC 5129er.
And Tower, for some reason, decided to give a guy takeoff clearance when one of the approach aircraft is still on final, so he's going around, so I'm just going to delete him off the scope. I guess Tower doesn't know about, the hold short command. Delta 2507, turn right heading 070, cleared ILS approach, runway 10, maintain 3000.
Heading 070, ILS 10, descend and maintain 3000, Delta 2507.
Delta 2430, turn left heading 350, descend 5000.
Left to 290, down to 5000, Delta 2430.
Delta 2430, turn left heading 350.
Turn left heading 350, Delta 2430.
Delta 2430, roger. And I don't know what this guy's all about. AC 49er 62. So I'll delete him off the scope. Delta 849er, contact Atlanta Tower 119.5.
Atlanta Tower at 119.5, good day, Delta 849er.
Delta 2430, descend 4000, speed 210.
Descend and maintain 4000, slowing to 10, Delta 2430.
AC 5286, turn left heading 360, descend 5000, speed 210.
Turn left heading 360, descend and maintain 5000, 210, AC 5286.
AC 5286, roger. And how are we going to make that work here with Delta 1215? Looks like there's going to be some, actually quite a bit, good, of lateral separation. Delta 2430, fly heading 360.
360, Delta 2430.
Descend to approach Delta 2076 at 14,000.
Delta 2076, Atlanta approach, roger, descend via the Onion 1 arrival, runway 10, transition.
Descend by Onion 1, Delta 2076.
Delta 2430, descend 3000.
Descending to 3000, Delta 2430.
Some moderate turbulence, your 1851-29er.
Roger.
Atlanta to approach Southwest 215 at 120,250, not designed. We have 1 minute.
Southwest 215, Atlanta approach, roger, descend via the Honey 1 arrival, runway 10.
Descend by Honey 1, Southwest 215.
AC 5286, descend 4000.
Descend and maintain 4,000, AC 5286.
Delta 2507, contact Atlanta Tower 119.5. Delta 2507, contact Atlanta Tower 119.5.
Descend to approach, good morning, Delta 1379 with you level at 12,000, with information Lima last guy gave at 250.
Atlanta Tower on 119.5, Delta 2507.
Delta 2430, turn right heading 070, cleared ILS approach runway 10, maintain 3000.
Say again for Delta 2430.
Delta 2430, turn right heading 070.
Turn right heading 070, Delta 2430.
Delta 2430, heading 070, cleared ILS approach runway 10, maintain 3000.
070 cleared for the ILS for 10 down to 3000, Delta 2430.
AC 5129, reduce speed to 210 knots.
210, AC 51-29er.
Delta 1379er, Atlanta approach, descend via the Honey 1 arrival, runway 10, transition.
Descend by Honey 1, Delta 1379.
And you can see that was close, but Delta 2430 didn't quite blow through the loc there, just with those miscommunications. AC 5286, turn right, heading 070, cleared ILS approach, runway 10, maintain 3000. AC 5286, turn right, heading 070, cleared ILS approach, runway 10, maintain 3000.
Heading 070, LS for runway 10, down to 3000, AC 5286.
AC 5286, roger, maintain 190 knots.
Slowing to 19, 0 AC 5286.
AC 5129er, descend 5000.
Descending to 5000, AC 51-29er.
Delta 1215, fly present heading, descend 3000.
275 descending to 3000 Delta 1215.
And I made another mistake here in the game. If you're ever going to delete an aircraft off your scope, it's the scroll wheel click. Click the target with your scroll wheel, but don't do it while that target is flashing, like while someone's trying to hand it off to you, because if you do that, it messes up your data tags. If you can see, I no longer have the assigned altitude in the data tags, and that's because I deleted an aircraft off my scope at a weird time. So, just another weird little quirk. Delta 2430, contact Atlanta Tower, 119.5.
119.5 Delta 2430.
Delta 1379er, reduce speed to 210 knots.
Slowing to 210, Delta 1379.
Southwest 215, reduce speed to 210 knots.
210, Southwest 215.
Delta 1215, turn right heading 350, maintain 3000.
Turn right heading 350 down to 3000 Delta 1215.
So now in this case, AC 5129er, I'm not going to give him a base turn, but I'm going to turn him into the downwind in a second here. AC 5129er, turn left heading 290, descend 4000.
Heading 290, descending to 4000, AC 5129er.
Delta 1215, maintain 200 knots.
200 Delta 1215.
Delta 1215, turn right heading 070, cleared ILS approach runway 10, maintain 3000.
070 cleared for the ILS runway 10, descend and maintain 3000 Delta 1215.
Delta 1215, roger, maintain 200 knots.
Maintain 200 Delta 1215.
Southwest 215, turn left heading 360, speed 190.
Heading 360, 190, Southwest 215.
Southwest 215, roger, descend 5000.
Descending 5000, Southwest 215.
AC 5286, contact Atlanta Tower, 119.5.
119.5, AC 5286.
So now there may be a lateral conflict here between these two aircraft, but they are separated by 1,000 feet, at least, because Southwest 215 is just down to 5, and AC 4129 is already at 4,000. Delta 1379er, turn left heading 360, descend 5000, speed 180 knots.
360, descending to 5000, 180, Delta 1379.
AC 5129er, turn right heading 350.
350, AC 5129er.
AC 5129er, roger, descend 3000.
Descend to maintain 3000, AC 5129er.
And I don't know if 20 knots worth of difference is going to... Well, 4 miles. It's a little tight, but... Southwest 215, descend 4000.
Down to 4000, Southwest 215.
AC 5129er, turn right heading 070, cleared ILS approach runway 10, maintain 3000.
070 cleared for the ILS for 10, descend, maintain 3000, AC 5129er.
AC 5129er, roger, maintain 210 knots.
Maintain 210, AC 5129er.
Southwest 215, descend 3000.
Descending to 3000, Southwest 215.
This might be tight, because now AC 5129er is turning into a headwind. Southwest 215, speed 170.
Slowing to 170, Southwest 215.
Delta 1215, contact Atlanta Tower, 119.5.
Atlanta Tower on 119.5 Delta 1215.
Actually, it looks like it's just barely going to work. A little too close for comfort there. Delta 1379er, descend 4000.
Descend and maintain 4000 Delta 1379. Atlantic approach, good morning, Southwest 2121 at 12000.
Southwest 20...
Delta 2076.
Southwest 2121, Atlanta approach, roger. Descend via the Honey 1 arrival, runway 10 transition.
Descend by Honey 1, Southwest 2121.
Southwest 215, turn right, heading 070, cleared ILS approach, runway 10, maintain 3000.
070, cleared for the ILS for runway 10, 3000, Southwest 215.
Southwest 215, roger, maintain 170 knots.
Maintain 170, Southwest 215.
Delta 1379, or descend 3000.
3000 Delta 1379.
Well, actually, between those speed differences, spacing is actually looking really good now. I wish it was written down somewhere the speed that was assigned, because I don't remember what I gave Delta 1379er, so I'll have to ask him. Delta 1379er say speed?
180 Delta 1379.
Roger. Delta 1379er, turn right heading 070, cleared ILS approach, runway 10, maintain 3000.
Heading 070, cleared for the ILS for runway 10 down to 3000 Delta 1379.
Delta 1379er, roger, maintain 180 knots.
Maintain 180 Delta 1379.
AC 5129er, contact Atlanta Tower, 119.5.
Atlanta Tower on 119.5, AC 5129er.
Southwest 2121, reduce speed to 220 knots.
Slowing to 220, Southwest 2121.
Delta 2076, fly present heading, descend 3000.
275 on the heading, descending to 3000 Delta 2076.
Delta 1379, reduce speed to 170 knots.
170 Delta 1379.
Atlanta approach, good morning, Delta 774, level of 2000.
Delta 774, Atlanta approach, roger. Descend via the Honey 1 arrival, runway 10 transition.
Descend via Honey 1, Delta 774.
Southwest 215, contact Atlanta Tower, 119.5.
119.5 Southwest 215.
Delta 2076, turn right heading 280.
Heading 280 Delta 2076.
Southwest 2121, turn left heading 360, descend 5000.
360, descend and maintain 5000, Southwest 2121.
And again with the handoffs. No, I don't want your airplanes, D. I got my own airplanes to worry about. Delta 2076, turn right heading 330.
Heading 330 Delta 2076.
Southwest 2121, let's make it heading 010.
010, Southwest 2121.
Didn't need to turn them out so far. Delta 2076, reduce speed to 190 knots.
190 Delta 2076.
Delta 2076, turn right heading 360.
Heading 360, Delta 2076.
Delta
Some
20...
moderate turbulence here, Delta 774.
Delta 2076, turn right heading 070, cleared ILS approach, runway 10, maintain 3000.
Heading 070, clear for the ILS for runway 10, descending to 3000, Delta 2076.
Delta 2076, roger, maintain 190 knots.
Maintain 190, Delta 2076.
Delta 1379er, contact Atlanta Tower, 119.5.
Atlanta Tower 119.5, good day, Delta 1379er.
Southwest 2121, descend 4000.
Descend and maintain 4000 Southwest 2121.
So here's an example of why I always want to vector at least a couple miles prior to the 10-mile fix, because with this airplane here, if we consider that we need a 1.5 miles separation, SkyWest 4490 is going to cross his 10-mile fix. Oh, actually, it's a little high. Usually it's closer to 4,000, but if we can plan him crossing it at 4,000, we'll have our planes at 3,000, a couple miles behind, and that'll always work, as long as everyone's doing ILSs. Southwest 2121, descend 3000, expedite descent.
Descending to 3000, we will through Southwest 2121.
Delta 774, fly heading 010, descend 5000.
Heading 010, descend and maintain 5000, Delta 774.
Southwest 2121, reduce speed to 190.
Slowing to 190, Southwest 2121.
Just slowing a speed to give him a smaller turning radius. Looks like it might be a little tight. Nah, actually maybe not. Southwest 2121, turn right heading 070, cleared ILS approach runway 10, maintain 3000.
070, LS for 10, descend and maintain 3000 Southwest 2121.
Southwest 2121, roger, maintain 190 knots.
Maintain 190, Southwest 2121.
Delta 774, descend 4000.
Descend and maintain 4000, Delta 774.
Delta 2076, contact Atlanta Tower, 119.5.
Atlanta Tower 119.5, CR, Delta 2076.
Well, that's pretty much it for now. I guess we got through the flow. Just one more plane to give an IFR clearance to, or ILS clearance to. And that's all for now.